So, tēnā tātou katoa, good morning or afternoon to all of you from Aotearoa, Waitaha, Christchurch, Canterbury, here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. I am, of course, Sarita McLean, the Regional Rotary Public Image Coordinator, and it is so lovely to see you all on here today. We had over 130 registrations for this workshop, which is fantastic, and to see 52 people plus here already, which is fabulous. I must admit, I have to give a little apology for the time, and I did go 12 noon Australian East Standard Time, and I totally forgot about daylight savings starting, which is why there's a little bit of a confusion. However, we will get that sorted for next time. We are actually working across 7 or 8 time zones, so it is kind of a little bit messy sometimes. So I do apologize in advance, so please do check. So we are joining together today from across Australia, New Zealand, and the Pacific Islands. And on behalf of all of us, I acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands on each of us meet, live, learn, and work. I acknowledge and honor Indigenous cultures, traditions, country, iwi, and nation, and pay my respects as appropriate to elders and leaders, kaumatua and kuia, past, present, and emerging. I'm so privileged to be hosting this session, Ready, Get, Set, Canva, presented by none other than Andy Marcelos, part of the Zone 8 Public Image team. So Andy is the Assistant Rotary Public Image Coordinator, and he looks after districts 9640, 9650, and 9670. He is the president of Hunter Rotary Club and a member of the East Maitland Rotary Club. And his day job, Andy works for Social Traders. So a little note about housekeeping. If you can please put your name and district number on your profile, that will be awesome. And also mute yourself, please. And if you do have any questions, type it on the chat box at the bottom of the Zoom screen. And I will send a recording of this session to everybody hopefully today or maybe tomorrow. So now over to you, Andy.
Thank you so much, Sarita, and I'll let you take over letting people in from the waiting room.
I shall, yes.
Perfect. So yeah, thanks everyone for coming along to the session today, and thanks to everyone who's done their homework. Love setting a bit of homework, always a bit of fun. So in this session, it's going to be a fairly guided walkthrough rather than me sitting here and talking to a PowerPoint presentation. I'm actually just going to show you how to do the things inside Canva. But yeah, before we get started, I'd just like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land I'm meeting on. I'm actually coming to you from a Awabakal land. I'd like to pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging, and extend that respect to any Indigenous peoples here with us today. So let me just share my screen. It's going to be a bit clunky as I flip through PowerPoint and the internet, so just bear with me. I'll do my best. Sarita, can I just check you're seeing my PowerPoint up?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Perfect. So just a bit of a recap of what we did on the pre-work. So I went through a little bit about what Canva is and why you should use it. We talked about creating a free account and upgrading to the not-for-profit pro account version. And then we talked about accessing the brand center and the voice and visual identity guidelines. And I still have not fixed up my typo on PowerPoint, so I apologize again. You'd think I would have picked up on that after the last one. But in today's session, we're going to look at inserting elements, uploading images, and we're going to do some quick edits on those images. Then we're going to look at changing the dimensions of your projects. We'll look at the brand kit, which is only available in the pro versions, that most of the things, using the templates, creating your own templates, which is only a pro feature, and inviting members from your pro account. So yeah, I'm going to go through this. If you do have any questions, just pop them in the chat bar, and as we go along, and there will be time for questions at the end. But if I see a chat thing that comes up that is a good question, we can dive into that if it fits. If not, we'll come back to it at the end. And I'm try to leave enough time for questions at the end. I'm just going to jump over to Canva now. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is look at inserting. So yeah, we're just going to create a Facebook post just to get us started. And really we're going to dive into the very basics of Canva. So if you've used Canva before, a lot of this stuff will be very familiar to you, but we'll get through this and get into some more of the in-depth stuff. So when we're looking at the elements, you've got different lines and shapes, you've got graphics, you've got photos that are free for you to use from Canva. So quite often you can use an image from here instead of having to go through your likes of Shutterstock and other free image galleries. Ideally, we want to be using images from our own club or from the Rotary Brand Center. But if, depending on the circumstance, you might use some photos from here. So we'll just, show you very simply. You just click it, pops on over. We might, you've got our circle here. We can change the colors. So I've got all my brand kit here, which we'll go through later. So I'm going to change it to the Rotaract color, Rotaract represent. So we've got kind of an image. We might look at a photo, pop a photo in the background. So when you're doing these, there's this option to position them. So you can move things backwards. So that goes behind there, or we can move it back forwards. Look at some potential different graphics. So these are good if you want to create a video or a GIF, as they call them. And you can just move your elements around just by clicking and dragging. And with elements like these, you can change the colors that are in the element. So I might change these to some Rotary colors. You also have some options for audio and videos. So you can create your own videos in Canva. We're not going to do that in this session because we don't have enough time. We could spend hours and hours and hours on Canva, but yeah, so that's just some of the different options. And you can also just search for things. So say I want to search for a cat. And there's all these different cats that come up. So yeah, that's really our inserting elements and doing some, I guess, very simple, basic edits. So now we're going to jump on to uploading images. So you jump over to your upload section. You can upload images, videos, and audio. The videos and audio obviously don't work on images, but if you are creating a video, it can be done through here. So I'm just going to click Upload Media. And we're just going to find the image we want. And you can, upload more than one image at a time. But I'm just going to I'll upload these two. And then they'll just appear over in your images section. And this will include all your images you've uploaded before. So we're just going to duplicate. So to duplicate your post, there is this little option up here, duplicate page. You can also delete the page, or you can add a page that will give you a blank page. So I want to add this nice photo from the East Maitland Rotary Club. It's a little bit biased, this one. There's lots of East Maitland Rotary Club images in this section, so bear with me. So yeah, and then you can kind of add your other images. And yeah, that's all there is to uploading. There's not a lot to it, pretty simple. Now, what we're going to do is I'm just going to jump out. I'm going to jump to another design now. And we're going to talk about how to change the dimensions of a project. So I'm going to use this here. And for those of you who've used the Brand Center before, you might recognize this template. I've recreated this template from the Brand Center. So what we're going to do here is we're going to resize this poster. So it's created as a poster. We're going to resize it for a Facebook post. So we click resize up here, and now you can put in your custom dimensions. So if you've got, maybe on your website, you need a specific dimension, or you want to put it on, take something to the printers, you can set the specific dimensions, but I'm just going to use a Facebook post. And this is going to turn it into the dimensions that are optimized for the Facebook post. You've got heaps of things in there. You've got Instagram stories, you've got Instagram posts, Facebook covers, pretty much anything that you can think you might want to use for, they've pretty much got you covered. If not, simple Google search for the dimensions will do the trick. So yeah, we're going to go for a Facebook post, and you can just resize, which will resize the document itself. So we'll no longer have the poster image or poster size, or you can copy and resize. I always like to go copy and resize just so that you can keep this one for later. So I'm going to copy and resize, and what you'll see is it'll create a new document, and it will attempt to move things into the right positions. As you can see, doesn't actually happen particularly well. So now this is our Facebook dimensions. So we have a few different options here. Ideally, we'd like to make it, I guess, fit the Facebook dimensions better, which is going to require us to move some things around. So what we might do in this circumstance is we might move our Rotary logo there. We might spread this one out. So I just grabbed it from the corner and moved it. And if you double tap, you can see that you can crop the image. And I'm going to move that to fit the location that I want. I'm going to move good old Brian Coffee off to the side here. And so what we can do with this as well, so instead of moving all of our elements one by one, we can hit the shift bar and click, and that will put them together. And if we want to keep them together, there's this option up here to group. So if I click that, now when I move them, they'll stay together. So I might move that down, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to group these ones down here. I'm going to move them. I might group those over there. And I'm going to change the color of this font because we can't really see it very well down here at the moment. Might change that color to white. And I might move that down here. We'll shuffle that in there. And so for a Facebook post, we probably don't need as much information as we do on the poster. So I don't think I'm going to use this, and that the text that's in this box here will actually move into our Facebook post. So we'll use the text in the post there. So I'm going to get rid of that. And what we might do is we might just move that up to the top there. And in this circumstance, we probably don't want our Rotary logo here up on the grass just because we're not really seeing very much. So what we could do is we could drag this across. So we could create it there, or we could move that back there and we could put in a different logo that matches better. I don't actually have one of our white logos downloaded from the brand center in here, but that's probably what we would put here. But we'll just get rid of it for now. And this is how you turn your poster into a Facebook image. Does anyone have any questions on that? Feel free to send them through. And I'm just going to jump back home now. So I'm trying to cover as much content as we can. If you do need me to slow down, just pop it in the chat, tell me to slow down, but the recording will be provided for you. So you can jump back and have a look at this in more depth. So I might also show you, so this is another version. And so you've got this, I guess, in your kind of Facebook post using some of the different Rotary colors. But what I did want to show you is about how to edit your images. So say we've got this image here, it fits nicely, but we might want to crop it. So you can hit the crop button and we can decide what we want that to look like. And it'll still fit with inside the dimensions doing it this way, which is good. And then maybe we want to edit it so that we have some more brightness. So if you've got you can kind of do your photo editing in here as well. It's not the greatest photo editor, but you can adjust things like the brightness and the contrast and a bit of saturation in there. And you also have filters as well. Again, not the best filters that are out there, but you do have some options to have a bit of a play around and see what works. I'm not going to have any filters on this image because I think this image is good just as it is. I'm going to move Brian back there. The other thing you can do is you can flip images. So if the image isn't sitting nicely into your template and you need to be able to move it around a little bit, you can flip it. So if we were going to do that, we would just select each of these, we'll shift them, and then we'll group them, and we'll send it over to the side. Okay. I will remember to spell check my text. Yes, also important for everyone to remember to spell check your text. I have not spell checked any of the things I'm doing right now. But yes, super important. So the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to look at the background remover element of the, it's a really great tool that you can have. So I'm going to use this Rotary at work image. I'm going to click edit image, and there is a background remover. So I'm just going to click this. It does take a little second. So as you can see here, actually what we might do is we'll just do a new page so everyone can see this a bit better. So when I've clicked remove background, it's taken my Rotary, but it's also grabbed the joggers, but I actually don't want those in there. So I'm just going to go into the background remover, and it gives me the option to restore or erase in more detail. So I've decided I'm going to erase them. So you can adjust your brush size and you just scribble them out, rub them out. And I might just go a little bit lower, and you can also zoom in to make it easier. So you can get a good line here. I'm going to need a smaller brush to get into these dips. And then you just draw the line around. Just a bit there. I definitely cut out a bit of the arm, but you can do it more carefully. And then, so yeah, that's how you remove the background. It doesn't work on all images. Sometimes you'll find that it won't work depending on the contrast of the colors that are in the image, but most of the time it goes okay. And so say now we might want to kind of use this image, we might put a bit of some rotary color in. We'll send that backwards. We've got our Rotarian at work. And now we might add some text in. I'm going to add a heading. We can adjust the size of our text. Might move our Rotarian down here. We might add another element. We might go for a bit of a, you can change the color. One of my greatest fears in life is public typing. So thank you all for not judging me during this time. And if you are, I'm just going to keep you on mute so I don't hear you, and I'm not going to look too closely. And that, you know, it does spell check for you if you don't type particularly well. So yeah, you could do something like this, and you could, you know, blow your Rotarian up a little bit. You know, I'm not going to finish doing a design, but you can see how quickly you can put something together that you could use on social media. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at your brand kit. So this is just, I guess, the kind of the basics of what you can use and move things that I guess are already in Canva themselves. And yeah, I guess we're going to now look at kind of the more in-depth stuff. So all this stuff, my biggest piece of advice for anyone out there is just to jump in and play around with this stuff. The more you do it, the easier it'll become. And I guess the more you play around with it, the more it will make sense. So I guess it's all well and good to see me sitting here tapping away, but yeah, jumping in and doing it yourself, you'll learn a lot more. And that's essentially how I learned to use this program, was just sitting here for hours playing around with it. Okay, so just check that chat. Okay, feel free to send through any questions. I do have an eye on the chat, so feel free to send them through. Okay, so this is what it looks like in the back end of the Pro version as well. So you've got your brand kit, a content calendar, and you also have the name of your club or whatever the Pro account is sitting here. So what we're going to start with is the brand kit. So in here, you can have your logo, you can have all your brand colors, and these are all of our approved Rotary brand colors, which I'll go through how I found those in a sec. And I've got my brand fonts, which are the approved Rotary brand fonts. And I've also uploaded my own fonts. So I'm going to run through how we do each of these. So the first is pretty simple, the brand's logo. So I'm just having a quick look at the chat. Okay, so we're going to have a brand logo. So we're just going to click upload. And I've downloaded my logo earlier on today for the purposes of this. And you just click the one you want and it'll just upload it. So I got this logo for those of you who haven't been in the Brand Center and found out that you can create your own Rotary logos for your clubs. All happens in the Brand Center. We're not going to cover that in this session because it will take forever for me to be able to load that up. It's quite a slow process, that one, but yeah. So you do that, that's your logo. And then I'll show you what that looks like in a design. So we'll go to a presentation. We have over here a little logo section. So if you've uploaded your logo in the brand kit, it will appear in your logo section here. And I can just pop it in and there it can go on my design. So I don't have to upload the image or go searching through my uploads. So like once you've been using Canva for a while and you've uploaded plenty of images, they'll all appear here. So it can be quite annoying to have to scroll back down to find your logo. And I've found myself continuously uploading the logo. But yeah, in the premium option, you've got that ability to upload your logo. So you don't have to do that. You just jump over to your logos section. Okay, so that's our logos. As for our brand colors, this will pop up here and you won't have anything in there when you start. So all you need to do is click this little plus button and then it gives you a hex code. Now to find the hex codes of the Rotary colors, we want to go find our voice and visual identity guidelines, 2019 to 2020, which looks like this. And we're just going to scroll down until we find our color palette. And these are our colors. So these are all the colors that you're allowed to use in the Rotary brand. And there are kind of our leadership colors, which these are the colors we want to be using the most because it creates that consistent look and feel across our Rotary brand. But we do also have some secondary colors if you get sick of using blue and yellow, which is fair because if you're doing a lot of posters or a lot of social media content for different programs, you might want to be able to distinguish between them. So that's where we've got our secondary colors, which also includes the Rotaract pink or cranberry as they call it. And then we also have pastels that you can use, and then our neutrals, and of course black and white. So what we're going to do is we're just going to find the hex code, which is the one that's got the hashtag next to it. So for the lavender, we're looking at C6CD0. So I'm just going to Control C, copy it, and go back over. I've already uploaded this. You can see it's there. I'll just add it in again there. So there's already in the color palette. Please choose a different color. So I'll just put 8 there and it'll do it. And so that's how I've gone through and added each of these individually. So now I never have to add them again because they're always going to be there. I'm going to get rid of those 2 colors. They're not in there. And so now whenever you want to go use those colors, what that looks like, we'll add a text in here. And say we want to change the color of our font. We click up here and there's my brand kit of colors. So we might go the teal color, or we'll just say maybe we want it one of our pastels. Neutrals are all here. And so you can use it for text, but you can also, like I said, we add our shape in, we're going to add our circle, and we want to change it to a pastel purple. So some of these elements are only available in the free Not-for-Profit Pro account, and I highly recommend everyone get on and do that. The free version is okay and it can get you through, but the Not-for-Profit version is free, so use it. So yeah, if you're having trouble with what you need to submit or getting it, just send me an email and I can talk you through it all. I've done it for a couple of clubs now. And we've not had any of them bounce back. And in fact, when I did it for the Rotary Club, it was 3 days and they'd approved it. So it's a pretty quick turnaround. Obviously depends on their demand at the time. So back to our brand kit. So that's all our brand colors. And now we're, I guess, over to our fonts. So if we go back to our voice and visual identity guidelines, we can see all of our typography here and what we're allowed to use in fonts. So there are a couple of options. There's a licensed option, which costs money or requires you to purchase the fonts, so to speak. And then we've got our free options. So the Open Sans condensed is already preloaded in Canva, so you don't have to go and find that one. But Georgia is not. So this is our primary for digital applications. So for using Canva, we want to be using Open Sans condensed and Open Sans for our primary fonts, and then Georgia for our secondary fonts. Then we have I guess in the paid version, the Frutiger, I don't actually know how to say that, and Sentinel as your secondary fonts. So for these, you'd be using body text, secondary headlines, captions, callouts, or identifiers. And then the primary font is headlines, main navigation, regular style for headlines, secondary navigation, infographics, lockups, identifiers, dense body copy. So that's going to be the same for Open Sans. We'll use Open Sans for that. And then, so your predominant font's going to be Open Sans and then Georgia as your secondary font. And I'll show you what that looks like when we come to I guess putting a design together and using the templates later. So I'm just having a look at Jenny. You asked the question, how do you load color code to Canva? Did I just show you that with the hex? Does that answer that, or is there clarification on that? If you could just maybe even jump yourself off mute and ask.
Hi, Andrew. I think I just missed it because I had to, I just missed your explanation, but I'll catch up on the video. Thanks.
No worries. It's just, you just grab this hex code from the voice and visual identity guidelines. And sorry, I pulled up the wrong tab there. Jump over here and click the button to add one, and then you just pop it in there.
Oh, great. Thank you.
No worries. Yes, that's correct. 10 users per not-for-profit account, and I will show you how to add those briefly in a sec. So okay, so say you want to add your Frutiger logo font. I have actually purchased that font, so I do have it. So all you've got to do is click upload a font. And if you own the fonts, they come in a folder like this. And you'll have to, they're normally a zipped folder, so you unzip them, and then you just go through and you just click the one you want and click open. And we'll ask you if you've got the right to use the intended font, and just say yes. And then it will upload that font for you. I'm not going to worry about it because I've already uploaded it, but yeah. So then the other thing that I'm going to draw your attention to is the brand fonts. So this is where when you click to add a text, it will automatically go into this font. So I've got my headings as the Frutiger LT STD, and then my subheadings are Georgia 18 and body are sitting at Georgia 12, but we'll actually put those into standard. And if you have a look in the voice and visual identity guidelines, it actually tells you use regular style for secondary headings, secondary navigation, infographics, lockups, identifiers, or dense body copy. So for what I'm going to use there is a regular style of this font. So I've gone here and I've gone go in here and we're just going to find the regular version. So this one will be fine for that. And then if you're going to use, so you can use Open Sans. So Open Sans condensed is what we're after. And then you'll use that the same for down in here. And then when we go into our presentation, like I said, when we click text and click add a heading, that will go to our Open Sans condensed or our Frutiger font. It'll automatically go into it. So I've got it set at the moment. Well, we'll set at that. But if we want to change it and we do want to put it into another font, all we have to do is click that. And then with our headings, they should always be in capitals for our primary headings as all caps, which tells you that in the use all caps condensed style for the headlines and main navigation. Question about the fonts. They're not very expensive to buy, and you can buy them. If you just Google buy Frutiger font or Frutiger font, it'll take you to where you can buy it from. I think it might have been $10 or something I paid for it. Can't really remember. I think you can get some on subscriptions. I bought that one a couple of years ago when I started as the club public image coordinator. But yeah, the free options are great. They're totally fine. Most people use the free options, and yeah, they'll do just fine. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is show you using, I guess, how to use templates. So we're just going to go home, and you'll see it's each of these designs I've been starting will come down here into your design section. And you can, just go through and delete them if you don't want them. Okay, we'll do a Facebook post. And so the templates are already provided. There's a whole bunch of different Canva options for templates. So I guess some really good ones, if it's Christmas is coming up, or there's, I guess, like Halloween, for example. I'm surprised they don't have a Halloween option here. Canva tends to update their templates to match whatever's going on during the year. So they'll have things. So like the Merry Christmas one, you might just want to use this for a Facebook post. You might not be too worried about branding it and all that kind of thing. You could just use that. Or you could say, Merry Christmas from East. Public typing kills me, East Maitland Rotary. And that could be it. Or what you can do is you can go in and edit it, and you say, well, maybe I want to put it into some Rotary colors, and you can go through and make those changes like we did before. But what I want to show you is using templates in the Not-for-Profit Pro version, because this can be a really good way for you to, I guess, share the load around the team if all they need to do is make some minor tweaks to a template. So if we go back to our home, and we're going to click the organization section here. And you've got your designs. You can put things into folders, so you can organize it like you would on a desktop. And then you also have templates. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit this little button here, create a template. And then you can do all the different sizes. So you can have a Facebook post that is your generic template. And you can also have different options within this page. So say I'm just going to use, we're going to put in a circle. I'm just making this up as we go there. And then I want to use a frame, which is where my images will go into. So if you just search frames, I'm going to use this one. I'm going to sit that so it sits behind my image, behind my circle. So I'm going to position that backwards. So now when I go to upload an image into there, it will automatically fit in that frame. And then, so I've got my there, and what I want to have is, I might put my heading, and then you've got a subheading and a little bit of text as a lockup. And so that there, and say we might also throw our logo on at the bottom. And don't do that. That's not what you're supposed to do. And we'll just sit this down at the bottom here. Sometimes it can be a bit temperamental, and we'll try to put whatever image you try to upload on top into the frame. And in this circumstance, we wouldn't use the pink logo. We would use a white logo, probably. See what would work, see what looks best. Or if you wanted to have it so that there was some blue there for it to sit on, you could just do something like this. And then say, so that's your template. Not a great template. Don't use this template. But what we want to do is hit publish template. And you can save it into your team's templates, or you can save it into another folder like we saw before, and just click publish template. And we'll just do template. And now to use that template, we want to go back to our home, and we're going to create a design. Actually, what we'll do is we'll go back into here. This is the easiest way to do it. So you can go into your templates, and if you click on it, it gives you the option to use this template or to edit the original. Or you can also share it. So if you want to send this to someone else in your team to use, you can just copy this and send it to them, and they can click on the link and it will open them up to this template. But all we want to do is just click use this template. And then it sits it all there, ready to go for them to edit it. Now, the next thing I want to talk through is adding members to your Canva. So once you've got your pro subscription, you get 10 users. So all you need to do is click invite members, and you can either put their email address in, or you can click get invite link. I think getting invite link's the best way to do it. So then it doesn't matter what their Canva, you don't have to find whatever email they've used for their Canva. And you just click copy and you just send that to them. They'll get an email, and it'll say, like, for this, Hunter Rotaract has invited you to be a member of their team. Do you want to accept? And they just click yes. And then they will pop up, and their Canva, I'll show you what that'll look like for them. So they'll have two different options. So they'll have their kind of, I guess, personal, but they'll also have the option to switch team. So this is my work one. So I've got my social traders team, or I could switch to my personal. So they'll have that option. So they can, so you don't have to just have one login for everyone. You can have up to 10 people using it. This is also something that you might be able to consider as a district if you could trial this with your district public image team, and so everyone in district team could have access. So you don't have to share the one login. People can access and have different teams. And the other beautiful thing about this is that if someone's already like me, is already using it for work and personal, I can add in my Rotary one here as well. So it's all in one place. So I don't have to keep switching accounts. So what this could look like is I could invite myself to the Hunter Rotaract. My internet is apparently going very slow, so I apologize. We won't worry about that now, but it will send an email through. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is I'm just going to draw your attention back to the voice and visual identity guidelines. I touched on this during the pre-work, and that's these lockups and how you can create these in Canva. So this is really what we're looking at, is this kind of infographic here showing you how to create this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop that off to one side. I'm just going to zoom in so that we can, and I'll show you how to create this into Canva. So what I might do is I might go into here. Might create a Facebook post. So we'll grab our logo. So I've already uploaded my Hunter Rotaract logo. And now what we need to do is we need to find two lots of Y. So what we can do is we just need to find little Y, as you can see, is the distance between our O. So the easiest way to do this, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit here. So this is probably quite small on people's screens. I forget about the fact that I have a big screen here at the moment. So there are you can do lots of different things to do this, but the way I like to do it is, I don't actually want that one, I want this one. Is you can just get a little line. I'm also mindful of the time, so I won't do this full in depth. So you can find that size of the O, so we might just move it there. So this is definitely the more fiddly stuff. So if you don't feel super confident, I wouldn't jump in and do this one straight away. But we've now got our O. Let me just get that back to, so that's this Y space here. So you'll see that you need two of those before you put in the next logo. So that, it might be, what have we got here? So we're using the PSA, or you could use Disaster Network of Assistance, Rotary Action Group, or you could, Youth Exchange. So all of these different options, you can find a lot of this on the Brand Center, but just showing you how you can recreate it here. So we need to find here, we need two lots of Y. So you can put those next to each other. What have I done there? So that's our break. And now we'll see that we need the X minimum we're looking at is the gap between there, the kind of the rotary wheel and the rotary wheel. And then that's how you can kind of get each of these different dimensions, and just, using little things like those lines can help you create those breaks. But I am going to leave it there and jump into some questions, because I think that's probably more valuable than me finishing that one off. I'm just going to run through the chat to see if there's any questions that have been asked that I've missed already. So yes, you can put different colored version logos in. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, the other thing that I haven't shown you, which I think I did cover in, I might have covered in the pre-session, is the downloading of the designs. So we've got our Merry Christmas from East Maitland Rotary. Going to close some tabs to help my bandwidth go. And then you've got the download option. So this one's letting me download it as an MP4 video because it's a moving one, but you can download it as a PNG, which is probably the best thing if you're going to put it up online. JPEG is fine. It's a smaller image. So if you don't have a lot of storage, so maybe on your website, you can use it there. If you're going to print out a poster, you've got your PDF print, or if you're going to use a document that you're going to send people electronically, you can use your PDF standard. So then it's not a really huge document like you can't email. If you do it in PDF print, it'll be really high quality and might be too big to send via email. You've also got your GIFs there as well. If you want to, they're great to share on social media. Sharp vector graphics, you probably don't need to worry about that. It's more, you don't need to worry about that one. So they're all the different options. And if you download a bunch of them, so say we've got multiple pages and we want to download as a PDF, you can select the pages you want. So you might select both of them or just one of them. And they will download into one PDF together. Or if you do it via images, they'll download in a zip folder with the multiple images that are in there. Okay, let's have a look at questions. What is the divider for the lockup? Jenny, can you just clarify what you meant by that?
There's a faint grey line between the Rotary logo and the partner logo. Yeah, that one, the one between. Yeah, what size should it be? And
it is 2 lots of that O.
Yeah, sorry, the actual grey line divider itself.
Oh, the divider itself.
Yeah.
It's 0.5 PT.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, yeah, sorry. Yeah. So, and to do that, you can just you just go lines and you just want a plain line. And I'll just move that there. And you can just put in here. And there it takes it to 0.5.
And is there a particular color shade of gray?
Yeah, so it is. It's actually 50% black. So what we do there is we find our black, and then over here you've got this transparency, and we just turn that to 50. And that's what that line is.
Very good, thank you, great.
No worries. Okay. Why don't I just open it up? Who's got some questions? Rather than me looking through the chat.
Andy?
Yes.
Somebody asked about the fonts and where do you buy the fonts from?
So it depends on the different font. So if we look at, so the best place to find them is just to go to Google Fonts. If they don't have them on Google Fonts, I'll just pull up Google Fonts. So Google Fonts gives you a lot of free fonts that you can access. So go in here and you want to search, say we want Open Sans. So we've got Open Sans and Open Sans Condensed. So all you have to do is click on it and you just click Download Family. And of course, Google Fonts does not have every font. So pretty sure they don't have Georgia. No, they don't. I'm pretty sure they also don't have Frutiger.
I don't think they do.
Oh, they do. So available from these external foundries. So we're going to go to Monotype. So if you can't download it from there, it means that you're probably going to have to pay for it. Okay, we're looking at from $54. So apparently a lot more expensive than I remember them being. There you go. And that's where you'd buy them.
Okay. Thank you for that. And the other one, Tony has asked, can you set up a free Canva account? And can that be transferred to a not-for-profit account without setting up a new account?
Yes. So when you set up your account, I'd set it up with your club's details. And I will just show you how to do this now. Okay, I'm going to have to.
Sorry, my question was more around, I've already set one up.
Yeah.
One to Canva, and can I just use that existing account and transfer it so it becomes my club's account rather than set up a new one?
Yep, you can do that, and I'll show you how to do it.
Yeah.
I just have to be in an account that's not already set up. So you're in your account.
Yep.
And then you click up here, pricing, and then go into non-profits.
Sorry, pricing, yeah. Price,
Yeah, so plans,
non-profits. Yeah.
non-profits, and now apply now, it's free.
Oh, cool. Apply now, it's free.
Yeah, and then you just click get verified now, and then you've got to put in your organization's name, the website, select the thing, and then it's all in this section of how to do this is in that pre-work.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. And then that'll allow you to do that.
Great. Apply for non-profits. It says get verified. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so you'll have to upload like your club's constitution and bylaws, or you can do it through your charity donation number.
Oh, okay. I'll let you get those details off our secretary. Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, thanks for that.
No worries.
Andy, Julie here. I tried that, got in no trouble in terms of setting it up for non-profit, but each time I tried to upload documents, it would tell me it wouldn't upload them now, try later. Have you come across that before?
No, but I'm happy if you send me an email and send me a screenshot of what that looks like. We can talk that through.
Okay, thank you.
No worries.
Quick question. The work that you were trying to do to create the logos with the extra bits, can you not do that in
the brand center?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Why would you then go to the effort of trying to do it exactly right in Canva when you can do it in the brand center?
So the reason you would do it here, and that's the reason I set it up as a template, you do it once and then it's always there for you and you can add it in easily.
Okay.
So it's just more user-friendly once it's set up.
Rather than having to create 6 or 7 different ones each time in brand center. Okay,
correct.
Yep. Makes sense. Thank you.
It's okay.
And one other question was from David N9675, Ferry Meadow. Accounts section talks about people, groups, and team details. What's the difference and which should a club use?
Sorry, can you read that again, Sarita?
So in the account section, it talks about people, groups, and team details. What's the difference and which should a club use?
So, okay. So you probably just want to use the people options. So these are all the people that you can, so this is your 10 people. That's probably the easiest way for you to do it. Yeah, getting into the groups, that's about kind of splitting them up then, splitting your people up, which you probably don't need to worry about. So yeah, I just use the people.
Okay, thanks for that.
That's okay.
Good. Right, how many?
I just saw this question from David coming through. You have a personal pro account on which I do Rotary stuff. Can I easily transfer your Rotary designs? Yes, you can, and I will show you how to do that. So there's this option here, share. And then all you have to do is type in the email address of the person you want to share it with. And then you've got to make sure that this says edit, otherwise they can only view it, and then just click send. And the other thing you can do is, if you don't have 10 people in your club that want to be able to use it, you can just invite your account to be part of the team. So it's there as an option as well. Otherwise, you just click send. And if anyone does want these templates, feel free to send an email through to me and I can just share them with you, so that you've got them. And yeah, more than happy to share any kind of templates that I create for Rotary.
Fantastic. So any other questions for Andy?
I got a question from Jenny asking about whether you can set one up via Rorks. Yes, you can.
Thank you.
Great. Fantastic. Lots of positive comments, Andy. So fantastic effort. Well done. And I've certainly learned about the logo lockup, how to sort this out in Canva. So I certainly encourage you all to go and practice. Fantastic opportunity for us to learn a little bit more about Canva, and certainly taken by somebody like Andy, very easy to learn. So if you need any assistance in the public image space, the Zone Public Image team is available. I can't stress that enough. You can certainly find our contact details on the Rotary Zone 8 website, and certainly just contact us. So where to next for us? We will be running, as I mentioned last month, monthly sessions for the last Sunday of the month. And generally it will be 12 noon Australian East Standard Time. But for the meeting in November, we've also got another regional coordinators meeting. So I will confirm that start time for the November session, which is on the 28th of November. It will be on the Rotary Zone 8 website, the Rotary Oceania website, our Facebook pages, Rotary Australia, Rotary Oceania, and also my public Facebook page, Rita McLean Rotarian, plus the regional newsletter, which is Rotary on the Move. So we're going to put it all out. And of course, the public image team will be pushing it out to their districts as well, as soon as we've confirmed what the topic is going to be, and the timing, certainly. And if there are any other topics in this public image space that you really want to get to grips with, please feel free to send us an email or message, and we will certainly put something on for you, because certainly this is an opportunity for all of us to learn a little bit more about public image. Right, well, so thank you so much for your attention and your passion and your time for today. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I really look forward to catching up with you, hopefully in person one day very soon. Take care, and on the count of 3, I will end the recording. You're welcome to stay behind and have a chat as well.